Auntie Gloria, and welcome again to another episode of the Well Woman podcast. Oh my God, you guys, thank you so much. It's been so amazing. I've been seeing all your likes, your subscription. I want to say thank you. Like now, it feels like okay, this is not a waste of my time. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And so today I have with me my beautiful friend, Blessing. It's so funny. I randomly met this friend. Someone else dragged me to her house, and since then, well, she now became the friend that I didn't know I needed. Blessing has been with me, like, you know, those friends where you say they know you. They know you and they stand by you. They know your score and they still be there. Blessing is that friend. And Blessing's story today is one of, you know, sometimes you have to start over in life. Her story is that. Blessing came from the UK. She's very well read. When the first minute went and she told me that she has a master's in this, I was like, you don't go school well, you know? Like she don't go plenty school. Blessing is that person, and aside that, Blessing is that friend that you call in the middle of the night, and Blessing will say, "Where you dey? What do you need? I'm coming." So it's my honor to invite my darling friend Blessing Ebokam to my space. Hi, Blessing.
Hi, Tammy. Okay, hi guys.
So before we get into our conversation, I just want to read a story that someone had sent in, and thank you guys for sending your stories. And also, if any part of what the women here share resonates with you, please click on the link. There's a link below where you can submit your stories, your questions, and yes, if you want us to keep you anonymous, that is perfectly okay. So I'm just going to read a story, a question someone had sent in this week, and we're just going to talk about it. We're not claiming to have all the answers. No. This is the Well Woman podcast. We're not saying we have all the answers, but sometimes, a lot of times, we've been there where some people have been. What worked, what did not work, and you have to take it and tailor it to your own life situation as well. Okay, so one of the questions someone posed, she said, "I just moved to Canada with my husband and 2 kids. Back in Nigeria, I had a master's degree and a decent job. But since moving here, I haven't been able to get any work, even after applying to what feels like hundreds of jobs. My husband has been carrying all the financial weight. He says he doesn't mind, but once in a while, I hear those snide comments like when I spend something extra for the kids or when I ask him for small things. It stings. It's almost a year now. I don't even know what I want anymore. I feel like I'm fading, just surviving. I'm not even picky with jobs anymore, but nothing is clicking. I'm tired. How do I rebuild when I feel like I've lost all sense of direction and self-worth?" Wow.
That's tough.
My heart goes out to you. Like, this is really, really deep. Blessing, do you have anything to say to this person who has sent that?
Honestly, I feel like most of us have actually been in that similar situation. Maybe doing mat leave, whereby you don't earn as you used to, and you're more of being at home, taking care of the kids, and you're kind of on a budget. But you see something, you just want to get it, even that happen. It happens to most of us. I feel like in situations like this, we gotta be patient, knowing that this too shall pass, which is patient. I feel like that's like number one thing. And you gotta still put yourself out there, like, yeah, hundreds of jobs, that's something, but you gotta keep applying. Something's definitely gonna click. It might only take time, but it would happen. And being patient in this situation helped to diffuse the whole situation, because a time will come where you be very mad at your husband because you feel, you're not doing your part, or you're mad at yourself because you feel like you're letting yourself down. But being patient, know that this too shall pass, helps too.
So have you found yourself in this kind of situation before? Because I know that at some point, because I know you so well, I knew at some point when you came, I know you remember telling me how when you came you didn't have a job, you couldn't find a job, and then you had. Can you share more, like, because I feel like this story kind of has a little bit about.
It does. I kind of get where the person's coming from. Like, I did remember moving to Calgary, and I did look for a job. Oh my God, it was crazy. I did work. I literally went to offices just to drop my resume. Like, I was not doing online anymore because that didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And one clicked, it wasn't what I wanted, but it was something. And sometimes I feel like you need that Canadian experience and all of that. I felt like that was my, getting that. And I just started. And when I look at that place, I'll be like, I'm not supposed to be here. This is not where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
But at that time, it was doing what it was doing. It was paying some bills. It was giving me some kind of purpose, knowing that I could afford things for myself without asking, my husband to do that for me and all of that. And, you just kept on going. Like, you just keep going.
Yeah.
Like, keep doing that. And before another job opened up, moving to another job, from that job moving to another job. And it just got better from that stage. It's something that doesn't last that long.
But it's 1 year. I know, like, we are saying it now. We've been there, right? I say it doesn't last that long, but now she's like, it's 1 year. How long? Because I could hear it from this question. She's like, I don't even know how to even start anymore, right? Like, I'm applying. It feels like her self-worth, like, because I've heard people say that, like, especially when the ladies don't work. Okay, for example, like when I took time off work, right? That I was like, when I was having heart palpitations and I took time off work. Thank God I was still being paid a little bit. But imagine if I didn't have one and then I needed to buy pants, underwear. I'll not say, honey, give me, So, because this is already happening to her. Like, so I can feel that, I know that my husband, good person he is, but there's some times that they make some comments, but it's not like they mean it in a bad way. But you will not start feeling, is it because I'm not working? You know that kind of. So as soon as I saw she said it stings, I could relate, because I know even when you saw you're working, maybe sometimes you are not, so little things just happen. You can feel like, wow, is it because I'm not working that you're talking to me like this?
I think that's something that always happens. We're human beings, right? You will always be like, why did he do this? Is it because, I'm not working, I'm not earning money, or because you're earning all the money, or you're taking care of all the bills? Sometimes it's not that. It might just be nothing.
Yeah.
That happens to most of us. Me myself is straight up. I always think about that. Like, okay, why did that happen? But I don't think there's a way whereby I can say, oh, this is a time frame whereby this will end.
Yeah.
Another thing could be maybe to look at herself to see if there's something she can do, maybe a business idea where she can do that, and that can help her find a little bit of purpose while she's waiting for the job to come.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yes. So if you're listening in on this podcast, you're the one who sent in this question. Yes, it's hard right now. If the jobs are not coming, yes, like Blessing just said, maybe there's something you already know how to do. That maybe you like cooking, maybe you like baking, whatever it is. Maybe you can start doing something like that and just start finding purpose in that. I don't know if that would help, but I feel like, yes, start doing something. Maybe in that way you start finding yourself again, right? That's basically what we're saying.
If this might not be the best time, obviously it's not the best time of her life, right? With everything, but she needs to be strong and find purpose for herself. The things that makes her happy. She needs to do that before, the job and all of that comes. Because imagine if you're just sucked into that sadness and all of that, you might not even have the strength or even the will to even search for a job anymore, because you've gotten just so much rejection. And it's like, you know what, I'm not even bothered. So it puts you in a very low place in your life. But you gotta stand up, dust it off, and keep going.
Yeah.
You gotta keep going. You can't stop.
Yeah. And if you believe in God too, I feel like she said, it's a season, and you want to start thinking about things like that. It's a season. It's not gonna last forever. And if you believe in God, just know that everything will still work out for your good. So whatever you need to learn in this season to pick up yourself, I think sometimes we get lost that we think our identity is in a job, but it's really not. That's where our identity is not in a job. So if you are even feeling lost now that there's no job, what if you not even get a job and then you lose the job? What happens then, right? Oof. So you need to know yourself first before even that job comes. So I want to encourage you who sent in this question, in rebuilding yourself, find the things that you like, according to Blessing, that you like, and start working on those things. And if there are skills, like, I feel like everybody has something that they know how to do. We don't think about it. Some people, they know how to clean. They clean your house like this, right?
Yeah.
That could be something. And don't think about it that, it's just cleaning or it's just cooking. It's not just. It's something.
It is
right?
something.
And it could be monetized. And so believe that this season will pass. My heart goes out to you, and I hope you do get a job soon. Okay, Blessing. Now let's get into Blessing.
Okay.
Blessing. So Blessing, who is this Blessing beyond? She's a mom. She's Tammy, Sandy, Gloria's friend. Who is Blessing? Tell me about Blessing. Beyond all the roles of being a mom, beyond all the roles of being a worker.
Honestly, I feel like those roles make me who I am.
Okay.
Pretty much. My identity right now kind of like lingers around all of that. You know, being a mom, being a wife, being a daughter, being a friend, and being an employer too, you know, and that's just me right now. I don't see myself out of all of that because I feel like all of that make me who I am right now. So it's still me within all those roles and all of that. So
awesome. So tell me your journey to Canada. How did you end up here in Canada?
Oh wow. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna be my 10 years in Canada.
Woo!
I know, right?
One day, Ken. You're not old.
Yep. 10 years in Canada. Yeah. I think I still remember I and my friend Onyins. We kind of like thought about like, what are we gonna do after like we're done with our MBAs, and we're like, what do we do? Do we go back home, or should we think of like staying back in the UK, or you know? And we're like, should we move to Canada? Sure. So she made inquiries and all of that. She's like, let's go.
Wow.
And I'm like, sure. Pretty much, we started doing application. We thought about the best route to come at that time would be to, you know, go to do the schooling, and it was gonna be like a diploma, certification, and all of that. So we put in the form together, did everything, you know, and we spoke to our parents too, right? They were like, sure, why not? You guys are adults. You guys are already out here already, so why not, right? So we did that, and in the process, me, her, and we had another friend too, a guy. So 3 of us kind of came together. We did the application. We're going to live together, you know, rent a place, and, you know, that will help us settle in. And we did all of that, sent the application, and bam, they didn't get their visa was denied, both of them. I was the only one who got it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
And you're supposed to be happy, right? You got it, right? But you're so sad that you've planned your life with these people, and that didn't work out. So it was like, okay, I know I'm going to Canada for sure, right? And the people are not going to come with me, so that means I need to figure out stuff myself.
Yeah.
In that process. So went on, got my ticket, you know, and in August, I think it was August 31st, packed my stuff, boarded a flight, and I was in Toronto on the 31st of August, 2015.
Do you know it's so amazing? I actually came into Canada the same August 31st, but 2 years earlier than you. Same August 31st.
I didn't know that.
I know.
Wow.
I just said it. I was like, I came into this country August 31st, 2013 as well.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
No, August is a special month for me in general, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so started my education. I had a friend who was there. We went to uni in Nigeria together. So she did help me settle in, she helped me with the place. I got a place, moved closer to school, and that was that. And from there, a year later, I was married.
How did you meet? How did you meet your husband? Because I know that there are some ladies that are listening to this. They'll say, man, they had for Canada. How did you meet your husband?
I think, I'm trying to remember. So his aunt reached out to my mom and be like, oh, like your daughter, I saw her over the Christmas, is she single? My mom was like, oh, yes, please. And they kind of like exchanged numbers for the both of us, and we started talking. So we started talking right from the UK, and I was like, oh, I'm actually coming to Canada, because he was already in Calgary. He was like, oh, nice, maybe this is the plan. And for me, I was like, if I get this Canada visa, it means that this still better work, right? So it was like, okay, let's go. So when I came in, I'm like, he was here. Then we stayed, like, obviously we got to see ourselves for the first time in September. It was all good vibes. Everything was clicking right and all of that. In November, we engaged.
Oh.
By January 2016, we already did our trad, came back, and August 2016, we did our white wedding in Calgary.
Do you know why I'm laughing?
Why are you laughing?
Because I remember between both of us, there was a story we shared that you were like, before I met you, I said, this guy, where he always send picture of only face.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I didn't really like all those, picture, like send full picture. I'm like, why are you sending halfway? I'm like, are your legs okay? Like, can you send me a full picture of yourself? Let me know what I'm dealing with, because girl, you need to watch out for yourself, right?
Girl,
I remember that story though.
Ladies, asking for the full picture. Oh my god! Every time I ask about that story, I always want to hear that part, because that part is like, it always just makes me laugh.
And funny enough, you not even turned out to be very tall, which was like, I'm like, okay, you know what? Why are you hiding all this tallness? That should be the first picture. Yeah, I would show you the open, but yeah, it did work out for us. It was really it was good. So we did that. I moved after school. I moved to Calgary, and the journey started. I was looking for a job. Oh my god, it was horrible. I was like, they said it was a job in Calgary. Like,
no,
what's going on here? Like, but I think that was the time that the oil kind of crashed, and there was so many things happening. So a lot of people did lose their job too.
Yeah.
It was pretty hard to even get a decent job. Well, luckily someone took a chance with me, and I was like, that was good. It worked. It was something I was doing. We got married, and I was pregnant. We started expecting our little guy, and by the next day, August, I had it. So that's why I said August is very special for me and my household in general. It was really pretty much up. Then come mat leave, and that was like a new identity of being a mom, and you're home with a child and all of that. It was that was when I made you my baby shower, remember?
Yes, you made this is my friend. When I came, I was pregnant too. Do you know she didn't say anything until like after a while, when I had a baby, she was like, oh, so you were pregnant when you came for my baby shower? I was like, yes.
I thought your tummy was just big. But anyways, I was pregnant, and I felt like it was very all about me on that day.
Exactly.
So I didn't even look at your tummy. I was like, maybe this girl belly just big.
I was popping. I was like almost 9 months. Like,
it was a month apart.
Yes. I was like, how can you just think that I was just fat like that?
I wouldn't even lie. Did not see that tummy at all.
Oh my god. Anyway, every time I remember that, I was like, this girl, your eyes, you need to start wearing glasses.
I think so.
Anyway, so with your first child, I know like there were some challenges. There were some things they talked about, like some speech. How did you tell us about that part? Because this is like things that we women have struggled with it, you struggled with it, and you've also started helping other moms. Tell me about yeah.
So I think he turned 2, and we had to go to do the 2 years check and all of that, right? Okay.
Check. Yeah, well,
and I think I walked into the doctor, and she kept on asking so many questions and all of that. And she's like, does he talk? I'm like, no, he's a very quiet guy. He's not. He was like, what does he do then? I'm like, oh my god. And I was like, he does something. She was like, okay, we need to refer you guys and everything. I'm like, for what? You're like, oh, I think there is there's speed delay, obviously, right? But also I do think there's a chance he has autism too. And I'm like, no, don't worry, he's a quiet guy. They were like, no. And I was like, I don't think so. And she was like, if you're refusing this, I'm just gonna put it on your file that you refuse to, obviously, to for me to send that referral. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you know what? Okay, send it out. Then we'll see how that goes. I still remember coming out of that appointment and I cried horribly. I'm like, what? Like, what does it mean that he cannot stand on one toe, or he cannot, like, what? Remember I called you. I was
Yeah.
like, what kind of doctor is this? And
Yeah.
you're like, don't worry, let's see how that goes. And we started that journey, and it was from speech appointment to speech appointment, to all of that. Then we went to the children's hospital. We had to do several assessments. And sometimes I look at COVID, like, which was 2020, and I look at them like, that was a time where it was bad, of course, but I feel like that was a time also for me to actually, it did give me purpose in a way with him, right? Because I did spend time. Then I already had my second one already too, but I had a lot of knowledge with everything. I knew that this second child is not gonna watch TV because I don't know. It was part of the thing they were asking. So I'm like, no TV for you, straight up, And I did spend time knowing that it's not just my job to buy a toy. It's my job to buy the toy and sit on the ground and play with him with that toy. So that COVID gave us time to really, like, dive in, buy. Oh my God, I was buying different. You used to see my house. It was like a daycare. I had everything you can think of, pretty much, and it was crazy, but that kind of got us through, learning how to be a parent in this country, whereby you have to do more than, just buy stuff and, say go to bed and all of that. That was a tough time. It was hard. I wouldn't even lie. And I still remember when I told my husband about it. The first thing was like, oh, don't give my pikin medication. No.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think we're there yet. They're just trying to see what's going on and all of that. And in the process, we went through, it was a very long wait to do all of that. It was a lot of other, like, we had to do hearing, we had to do the eye test, we had to do different tests to get us to meet other specialists and all of that. And in the process, I think it took us maybe a couple of years. Then we realized, he had speech delay, which we already have been doing speech therapy from the time he turned to, like, till that time. And he had, like, some other repetitive, some kind of really stuff. But I was grateful it wasn't autism, right? At least that was out of the way. We had to deal with all this other stuttering. We had to deal with the speed delay. We had to deal with excessive, so many names anyways.
Yeah.
And that was like, okay, you know what, this is it. This is what we have, and we need to, what do we do? In the process, we needed a behavioral therapist too. We needed, speech was continuous for us. We needed an aide also to also help and everything. We had to put him in the school at 3 where they had, like, other kids who had delays, so that way he would, yeah. It was a long journey, but if you see him now, you won't believe he needed speech therapy because his mouth is running.
I'm telling you, Auntie, Auntie, you want to put it down? I see this one,
Yeah,
right?
it is a journey, but it was all of that.
Yeah,
Then in the process, you're also having other kids.
yeah.
Other kids in the process, you're actually working.
How did you take care of your mind, your mental state during all this? Because even with having the 3 kids, the third one, you were not even knowing that third one was coming. So how did you maintain? And what happened? Maybe you didn't maintain it. Did you crash?
I wouldn't say I crashed, but the first thing was, at the beginning, I was not even looking after myself. It wasn't about me at that time. It was more about this child. Like, what can I do to help you? It was all about, like, I didn't even remember being anything apart from being a mom. Like, let's dive into this, if this, because they said it would help.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay, let's do that. If you tell me it will help, I'm going to buy everything in the store that would help, right?
Yeah.
So it was more of that. In the process, right, I kind of realized, this is going to be like a long road. It's a continuous process. So I need to, probably after the first 2 years, you kind of move away from, okay, you know what? You're not the only child, right? There are other people here, and me, myself, I need to take a break and all of that. That process, I had to lean on my community more because, as I said, I feel like we had people who were going through similar stuff, and even people who didn't have similar stuff, but I could talk to, like, hey, what's up? And we kind of compare our problems together. Why are you always like, did you go children today? What did they say and all of that? We kind of check result and see what all that's about, advise each other, go out, more and all of that. I think that was just, I think apart from being at home, being outside away from all of that did help keep me sane more of that. I know obviously with the community, like you could actually talk without feeling like, oh, this person doesn't understand what I'm talking about and all of that, right? And stuff like you can't really explain to the grandparents what you're saying. Like they're like, what are you saying? Is he not talking? I'm like, he's talking, but they're saying he's not saying enough words. You're like, what does that mean? You are not talking to, they just bring their own stuff, which I'm like, okay, you know what? It's okay if you don't understand, we don't have to dwell into that, but you just keep going and going, every day, one day at a time, moving on. And well, I don't want to say you live with it, but you kind of get used to all the appointments, get used to whatever it is, and it just becomes your regular life.
Your norm becomes your new norm, right?
Pretty much.
It's funny, like the life we expected and now the life we are living, it kind of like, it feels different, but then you have like, well, this is the life that I'm living with now, so I have to kind of work with it, right? Sure. So what would you tell any mom who is here like, oh my god, I have a 2-year-old and they just told me this, how do I advocate for this child, what do I do? Because you've gone through this, what do you tell that mom? Because I've seen you do that with a couple of friends that we have who started having similar issues, and you're like, okay, you know the talk, oh yeah, this is what we do. Like, what would you tell that mom, especially if they are new here, because the system is quite different from back home, right? Back home, I don't think we really had a lot of these issues, because at 9 months I don't
think I even had speed delay ever, right? Growing up.
What would you tell that mom who might be saying, oh my god, they just told me my child is not talking, I think I'm noticing this, or they just told me this? What would you tell that person? How would they advocate, and resources that might help?
Honestly, I feel like the first thing first is I would ask you, like, when last did you see the ped doctor? Like, when last did you do the check? And what did they say? Because sometimes you think the child is not saying all of that, but maybe the child is, but you've not really noticed it, right? So I do want you to go back to your doctor to be like, what is that? Like, what are they saying? What are they, like, what do they feel? And if they kind of like dismiss you and you yourself, you go back again and tell them to refer you to a pediatrics, right? And some of them might do like, okay, this is what I know. Can you refer me? And most doctors do that, right? Sometimes to help the mom feel at ease. You gotta push for your child. When you get to, if the child doesn't have that much social skills, you gotta try to put them in school, maybe preschool or daycare, whatever works for you. But you gotta push that. But still, you have to have a routine, which is you need to calm down to that child's level and, do that, like, whereby you have to calm down, do the play with them. Those are the things that did help us to, like, get through, you see a child whereby the child is below the age, like, the child is 2, but he's not even doing what a 2-year-old is doing. So what are the things he's supposed to do? We note all of that, and we start to work on that, even at home, because whether you have speech and all of that, they spend max 2 hours with the child a day. Speech is like maybe once a week, right? You are with this child all the time. You need to calm down, and even the simple routine whereby you're dressing up and you guys are talking, you're making sound and all of that, all those things help. Reading books at night, during the day, whichever. It takes pretty much 15 minutes or less to spend that time, and before you know it, it just, the child is learning. I'm not saying it's going to be like a miracle, for that. All of a sudden, he's just obviously having so much words, but it helps. It helps still.
Okay. Thank you. So early intervention is very key. That's what I'm
Definitely.
saying. So I know now in this season of your life, you have an event company called Beekam
Yeah.
Creation.
Beacon Creations was created in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of like my time doing mat leave. I was like, oh, you know what, this is something I kind of enjoy doing. Oh, well, don't tell me you have something to do. I'm literally planning
I
with you,
know.
like straight up. And it's something that I've always wanted to do. I have my master's in hospitality and event planning, so it kind of clicked and I gradually started. But, you know, life happened and that was put on like a pause. You know, I couldn't deal with that with every other thing that was going on and all of that. But this year I decided to pick it up back, you know, and so basically what we do is we plan events, we also do event coordinating if you know that's something that you want. We also do some rentals in the process. Like we do like bouncing castle rentals, we have like, you know, like different things. Like we kind of you know, it's still developing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't even know like everything we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it sounds like, well, we don't really know everything, but we are growing.
Yeah.
You know, I just kind of like did my page back, you know, and all of that, have my email, so I'm gradually setting up. And we're planning our first event too, so.
Yes, and Blessing Beekam Creation is actually the event planner for Come to Adulam 2025.
Yes, guys.
So you will see the event. So you tell me, she like when you just tell Blessing, this is my event. The first question is like, tell me how you see this event. When you paint the picture, she's like, okay, you want this. How do you want the ambience? How do you want this?
Oh yeah.
She's running with it. So well, look forward to Come to Adulam, the event, and even the pictures and videos and everything. So click on the link below. You'll find Beekam Creation, her Instagram post, and a link to her website. If you want to connect with her too, her contact is on the link below. So Blessing, wow, this was amazing just having you, you know, talk to you about this, because sometimes we've forgotten how it was in that season of our life. So I'm so grateful that you came here and you're vulnerable to share this, because not everyone will want to talk about it. So I'm so grateful to have you here. Thank you for sharing. And well, women, thank you so much for this episode. Please subscribe, like, and share. Like, it means a lot to this channel. It means a lot to me. And if the story resonated with you, please like it, and also please send your stories too, because we're learning. I'm learning from people that are sending their stories, what worked, what did not work. If you also have a question, please share your questions as well. We don't claim to have all the answers, but I know how to carry it on my head to find answers, right? From whoever that has that answer that you might be looking for. So we encourage you. So I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I will see you all next week. I love you.
Bye.
Bye.